that came out in The Athletic recently. I'll read you the quote and then, Andy, you can tell me your views on it. It says, there have been a number of recent changes of ownership and rumours of changes in ownership at EPL clubs, and inevitably we are asked regularly about Fenway Sports Group ownership in Liverpool. FSG has frequently received expressions of interest from third parties seeking to become shareholders in Liverpool. FSG has said before that under the right terms and conditions, we would consider new shareholders if it was in the best interests of Liverpool as a club. FSG remains fully committed to the success of Liverpool, both on and off the pitch. But I mean, the key sentence there is it would, under the right terms and conditions, it would consider new shareholders. What do you make of that statement, firstly?
Well, it's no surprise that you've got American owners that bought the club to make money, right? They bought the club to make money. They didn't buy Liverpool because they're emotionally attached to either our game, our sport, or the club. They bought that club initially because they saw an opportunity. Now, you can't argue with the success they've had recently. They have to take credit for that, some credit for that. Of course, there's a lot of very good people at Liverpool working there, have been working there before FSG, but there's a lot of good people that have been brought to that club whilst it's been under their stewardship. They're now in a position, they probably eyes lit up a bit when they saw the money that Chelsea went for. Liverpool as a global brand have an incredible reach. They have a fan base around the world, probably... Well, I obviously don't know, and it's a very difficult question. I'm assuming Manchester United, possibly Real Madrid, and then Liverpool. Nobody else.
Barcelona in that?
I don't think even they would have quite the numbers that Liverpool do around the world. Okay. I don't know for sure, but what I do know, whenever I was working at ITV for years, the Champions League matches in this country, it was always Liverpool matches just behind Manchester United that drew the most eyeballs. It wasn't perhaps teams like Arsenal at the time that were perhaps doing better, or even Chelsea later on in the 2000s. But they are a massive brand. So it's no surprise to me that FSG are deciding now is the time that they would like to sell. The club are building a new stand that they're about to be able to hold. What is it, in excess of
60,000, yeah.
60,000 people. Club's been very successful. Where the problem's going to be is if Klopp decides on the back of this, like we just heard that little clip that he said, I like to know the people that I'm working for. With ownership nowadays of football clubs, sometimes you are working for people that have very little to do with the club, that you don't get to have perhaps the kind of rapport that he feels he currently has. So if his position is put under threat by the prospect of new owners, then that will be a massive disappointment. And I think a far more significant loss. It's amazed me, because when we were talking about it just quickly, Anne, before the show, about this, that a lot of Liverpool fans want to see the back of these people. And yet it's been the most successful period the club has had for a long time. And they have been responsible for not all of that, of course not, but a chunk of it, of course they have. So it's very interesting story.
Well, listen, we'll take calls in it, of course we will. 0371 722 3344. While you're dialing up, let's get more on this now with the football finance expert and the host of the Price of Football podcast. Kieran Maguire joins us now. Kieran, hello, good afternoon to you. Well, that was quick. Hello, Kieran, are you there? Kieran?
Yeah, I'm here, sorry.
We can hear you. Can you hear us loud and clear, Kieran?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, we can just about hear you, but we'll soldier on. Hopefully we can have a conversation about it. Firstly, what do you make of their statement? They've come out and said this, because usually if a club aren't going to sell, they would categorically come out and deny it. But they've said under the right terms and conditions, we will consider it. Does that tell you now it's just a matter of when Liverpool sell, and if the price is right, they will?
I think Liverpool potentially have been up for sale for a couple of years now. FSG themselves sold 11% of the overall group to another American company called Redbird just over a year ago. And I think they'd be willing to look for a sale, because they only paid £300 million for the club, and realistically they could sell for $3.5 to $4 billion, so they'd make a huge return on that investment from their point of view. and perhaps they feel it's now time to get out. They were very keen on Super League. They were very keen on Project Big Picture. Both of those have fallen away, and it's becoming more and more expensive to be competitive in the Premier League. And of course, we now have Newcastle thrown into the equation as well.
Whilst it's never easy to do a deal for that sort of money, I would imagine that there would be a serious queue of very wealthy companies and or individuals that would be looking to acquire a club like that.
Oh, certainly, Andy. I mean, we've seen the huge interest in the States as far as football is concerned. That they're fully aware, American investors, that compared to the NFL and the NBA and the NHL, what the Premier League in particular can offer is a global audience. And if you can convert those eyeballs into cash, then you've got a very, very lucrative form of return on that investment. And with the pound being weak as present as well, that makes it even better from their point of view.
Kieran, listen, it's not the greatest line in the world. I understand you're on a train, but thank you for your time ananyway. Hopefully next time we'll speak to you, it'll be a much better line.
I think, Andy, what Kieran says is interesting, that again, the amount of eyeballs that in this modern era, in this day and age, that they know that potentially they could tap into, any prospective new owners would be incredibly serious. So I mean, it's a fantastic brand and club for somebody out there to go and get. It really is. It's
not a bad profit, is it? Sell it for $4 billion, buy it for 300 million.
Wow, amazing. I mean, look, they've obviously spent a lot of money, not enough money. I know there's a lot of Liverpool fans want to come on and tell us that they haven't spent money and that they haven't been great owners. All I know is that they've overseen a very rich period in the club's history in terms of winning trophies.
But Liverpool fans will say they didn't invest when they should have invested. I think when they won the Champions League, they didn't buy one player the following season.
Do you know, I think I've never heard anybody, I've hardly ever heard anyone coming on to a radio station to applaud owners, to tell the world how good they've been.
I mean, Leicester fans would do that, right?
Leicester fans would yes. I'd like to think so.
Yeah,
maybe
Newcastle now.
Mate, boy, Newcastle
City.
Now for years. But
I know what you're saying, the majority of football fans.
The majority of football fans have always got beef with the owners, always feel there's
you're
someone
right,
better around the corner.
You're right.
Is there someone better around the corner for Liverpool? They would love to think so. They probably think, yes, there is. It would all be exciting the minute these new guys come in, and then all of a sudden, as like any business, they change their direction, they change their thought process completely, and they start going in a different direction, and you start hearing things get leaked out, and all of a sudden it's not so rosy and it's not so good potentially. So we'll see.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein, Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker.